You know, as the topic of the vlog would suggest, I'm primarily talking about this term uh, that would come into my mind that, it's about trade diplomacy. Before that, of course, France 24's the debate program was, full of learning lessons for understanding economic policy and what are the fresh perspectives coming out of United Kingdom, France, um, as well as Europe and United States of America through diverse but expert commentators. Now, but I would not really go as far as really saying that Donald Trump's tariff regime could be translated as vendetta diplomacy. And I would use the same argument as used by the experts that were invited to the program, the debate on France 24. And what would they say is that it seems to be there's an impression, it is a good impression that it could be a very good probable case that policies do not follow any rational. And I would agree as far as that comment is concerned. And could be even true for the policies emerging out of the White House. And imagine, a couple of months ago when the trade war, this high tariff regime was primarily announced, would appear to be quite arbitrary. But at the same time, being having experience with Ministry of Commerce, I would know that international trade is determined through a lot of diplomatic efforts and trade negotiations between representatives, trade representatives, and bureaucracy of two nation states, or in WTO would be represented by nation states with important stakeholders like BRICS, this regional trade agreement, or NAFTA, this, Pan American trade agreement. So, yes, it is. Indeed, it is diplomacy. But when I say diplomacy is too early to then suggest it is the case of a vendetta diplomacy, because the attention of Trump administration has been more on foreign policy and towards establishing peace, and then referring to international trade, and especially uh, American trade's orientation towards finding trade partners and negotiating trade deals with those partner countries, trading partners, based on the fact that they would contribute towards greater peace in the world. And that is so true as the statements from the White House would suggest, as well as the statements made by President Donald Trump, that Russia-Ukraine conflict could have a peaceful resolution, and then it could benefit from trade. Similar is the case with India and Pakistan, whereas not only Pakistan has contributed significantly to the peace initiatives in the region but across the world, but then Indian hostility has been contained, nevertheless, by American intervention and the direct intervention from the president's office, and that is, of course, President Donald Trump. And that should all be appreciated. But then the world is larger than simply Pakistan-India conflict. It really represents such economic, emerging economies like Brazil, India, China, Russia. And therefore, there needs to be a little bit of understanding how trade diplomacy works and what is uh, how to understand it, either through political economy aspect or through the aspect of policy making. So what can we know about Latin American economy, and especially the economy of Brazil? It's a large country with a large population when compared to other Latin American countries. Uh, Brazil inherently depends on its oil exports, while at the same time, uh, literacy rate is high. Uh, socially, uh, most of the Brazilians are economically, socially empowered, while at the same time there would be a struggle towards greater democratic empowerment and values with significant financial sector that would then support, international trade. But at the same time, what is lacking in Latin America is the same story of most of the developing countries other than East Asia, China, India. That Brazil also have not been able to develop a significant industrial base, while there are many American companies, or but most importantly Russian or Chinese companies, uh, having their subsidiaries and businesses located in Brazil. But still, most of the Brazil's imports are coming from China and Russia, and then India, uh, and they are financed through the revenue Brazil earns through oil exports. And similar is the case with all Latin American countries. What Latin America has missed is the same story which is also common for many African countries or Asian countries, uh, whereby significant industrial sector which is based on value addition and technological advancement is not really present in most of the Latin American countries, while at the same time highly educated population would not really encourage companies from Europe or United States of America to relocate their businesses to Latin America and specifically Brazil or Argentina, because international trade would follow the standard theory that we're